What's up, Kanto University? I'm Duncan Kneedeep, and this is a video on 3 new items which were introduced in Pokemon X and Y. They are all hold items which can be obtained in the Battle Maison for up to 48 points each. These items are the Assault Vest, the Safety Goggles, and the Weakness Policy. So first we're going to take a look at the Safety Goggles. The Safety Goggles confer the Pokemon wearing them almost exactly the same benefits as the Overcoat ability, which was heavily buffed this generation. These are immunity to weather-based damage, which prevents chip damage from sandstorm and hail, and more importantly, I think in most cases, grant the Pokemon immunity to powder-based attacks, including Spore, all of the status powders such as Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, things like that, and they grant immunity to Rage Powder. They allow a Pokemon to ignore Rage Powder, which makes the items very useful in both single battle and in the VGC environment. So before we rate this item, let's take a look at a few examples of where it can be used. Because of the prevalence of Smeargle this generation, it can be a useful substitute for a Lumberry on a lead Pokemon, which can then be used to kill the Smeargle without allowing it to set up any of its hazards, so very handy there. This strategy can however backfire if the Pokemon is running Dark Void instead of Spore, but this is still relatively uncommon. I know that you're seeing more Dark Void Smeargles these days, but because of Dark Void's 80 accuracy, it is less common than Spore still. For those of you who like to use less common Pokemon like Shedinja, although I would discourage using it in OU, the Safety Goggles are one of the best items to have on it. Because of Shedinja's big weakness to the fact that it is OHKO'd by any weather effects, immunity to weather lets this rage-inducing Ghost Bug laugh off any weather inducer and continue to troll with its Wonder Guard ability. Finally, we're going to take a look at where Safety Goggles are arguably at their most useful, in VGCs. Now, I'm not an avid VGC player myself, however anyone who plays VGC knows about the Mushroom of Pain, the Fungus of Fear. I am of course talking about Amoonguss. Amoonguss is one of the most used Pokemon in VGC, and it's well known for using Rage Powder in order to protect a Pokemon with a setup move to allow it to boost its stats without any risk of taking a hit. Rage Powder combined with Amoonguss's significant bulk allow it to protect setup Pokemon and then allow them to sweep teams without much risk to the user. Safety Goggles allows you to ignore the effects of Rage Powder, which allows you to KO the opponent before it can set up or during its setup. A great user of Safety Goggles in this situation is Scizor. Common Pokemon that Amoonguss is used to protect are Mega Kangaskhan for that power-up punch and Mega Tyranitar for Dragon Dance. Scizor can easily take down both of these threats during their setup turn, neutralizing that threat before it can do anything. As an added bonus, if Amoonguss then later tries to use Rage Powder to protect a fast Pokemon with low HP to give that Pokemon one last turn of attack, Scizor has the stab-boosted Technician Bullet Punch to snatch that Pokemon's soul before it gets the chance to hit you with that final Gambit. Now, we can't talk about an item like this without talking about its downsides, and the biggest and probably only downside to the Safety Goggles is that of course a Pokemon can only hold one item. Now, because you lose your other item, Pokemon which rely on things like Life Orb for the extra damage because otherwise they miss out on OHKOs or 2-hit KOs, or the leftovers for healing because they need that extra bulk, or any number of other things, you can't equip Safety Goggles on these Pokemon, and they do lose out on these significant bonuses that these goggles provide. Now, they are not the best item in a lot of cases, of course. They're not always going to be the best item, otherwise everybody would just be running 6 Pokemon with Safety Goggles, but they are useful in the right situation. So, for the final verdict. While they are situational, the Safety Goggles are a fantastic item with several key uses. They are more useful in VGC than in singles, but they do still have a place in the single metagame. This item receives a grade of B+. Next up, we have the Assault Vest. Now, this item has seen a great deal of use in the metagame since the arrival of X and Y, and no wonder, because this item is powerful. The Assault Vest boosts a Pokemon's special defense by 50%, however this does come at a cost, as it restricts the Pokemon to only using attacks which inflict damage, preventing the Pokemon from using any status, healing, or protecting moves. This cost restricts the usage of the Assault Vest to Pokemon who don't rely on status or healing moves in order to be viable. It does however give a whole new meaning to the term bulky attacker. So let's check out some examples of where the Assault Vest can be used. Arguably the best, and certainly my personal favourite user of the Assault Vest is Conkeldurr. The Assault Vest is a huge boon to this already powerful Pokemon, as while it was always physically bulky, its 65 special defense has always left it down. With the vest boosting it, its special defense becomes quite impressive, and it also complements Conkeldurr's traditional playstyle quite well, as Conkeldurr has always relied on Drain Punch for its healing, and Assault Vest doesn't restrict it. While you do lose access to Bulk Up, it does allow Conkeldurr to switch into special attacks, eat them up, and then come back with a devastating attack due to its sky-high attack stat. Another interesting user for the Assault Vest is Slowbro, or possibly Slowking. Slowbro is a highly physically bulky Pokemon with 95 base HP and 110 base defense. And with the Assault Vest boosting its passable 80 special defense, he becomes a very prominent mixed wall. The loss of Slack Off and Thunder Wave do mean that you have to play Slowbro a little differently to the more established sets, but it does have a decent move pool, and those 2 extra move slots can be put to good use. The Regenerator ability means that Slowbro is not left without a way to recover HP with the loss of Slack Off, as it can still switch out to gain HP and remains a huge defensive threat on the right team. If you go with Slowking, you will be sacrificing your physical bulk to create a special wall with almost godlike defense on the special side. However, if you're looking for a special wall which can deal out damage with the Assault Vest equipped, you need look no further than Goodra. Goodra was almost the original user of the Assault Vest. It was the first Pokemon that saw a lot of usage with the Assault Vest, and while it has dropped out of use a little since the release of Pokebank, it still remains one of the best users of the Assault Vest. The Vest boosts Goodra's already sky-high 150 base special defense into the stratosphere, allowing it to eat up almost any special attack. Goodra's passable 110 special attack then allows it to hit back with enough power to scare out most special attackers, giving you a little momentum in the match and dealing a little bit of damage, which is always nice. So the verdict. The Assault Vest is an incredible item which has boosted the viability of some already useful Pokemon and made them into true threats to the entire metagame. The Assault Vest receives an A+. Finally, we have my personal favourite of these 3 new items, and that is the Weakness Policy. This item boosts both special and physical attack by 2 stages when hit by a super effective attack. This effectively doubles them, and the item is consumed on use. While the Weakness Policy is highly situational, no one can deny that when you get that boost in the right situation, the results are terrifying to behold. Let's take a look at a few examples. A fantastic user of the Weakness Policy is a Pokemon that Kanto University has actually already examined in detail, and that is Aegislash. Aegislash has a huge amount of bulk while in shield mode. It can easily absorb a super effective attack when in shield mode, and then come back with a devastating attack after receiving the boost. My preference is to use the Weakness Policy on a mixed Aegislash, as with 150 base attack in both special attack and attack, after it gets that Weakness Policy boost, it is a devastating mixed attacker. If you're lucky, you can even get a Swords Dance off while absorbing the super effective hit, and then hit them back with a +4 Shadow Sneak. It's likely to kill all but the bulkiest of opponents, but you do need to watch out, because a normal type such as Diggersby can then easily switch in and revenge kill your now damaged Aegislash. Now we're going to move on to what I still view as the best wielder of the Weakness Policy, Dragonite. Now, Dragonite is one of my favourite Pokemon, so I may be a little biased in this, but because of its ability multiscale, I view it as one of the best users of the Weakness Policy, as multiscale halves all incoming damage, so long as Dragonite is still on full HP. This means that when it's still on full health, it can easily absorb a super effective attack while maintaining a good amount of its health, and then you combine this with a Dragon Dance and you're sitting at +3 attack and +1 speed on a Pokemon which has a massive 134 base attack, and it has access to extreme speed, which neutralizes those pesky priority users. So time to grade the Weakness Policy. While it is situational, in the right hands it can be a devastating tool, and so it receives an A. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like, comment and subscribe to Kanto University, as more videos will be coming on this channel discussing the metagame in even more detail. If you want to watch more of my videos, please do click the link, and we'll see you guys next time.